morning, dear children. In the previous class, we started with the civics chapter named as judiciary. We discussed the meaning of judiciary. We also studied the different courts, the highest court, that is the Supreme Court, and then the second highest court, that is High Court, which is situated in our city, Jabalpur. Then we also discussed about the independence of judiciary, why it is necessary to keep the judiciary independent. Then we discussed about the different branches of judiciary. Lastly, we also discussed that are these subordinate courts interconnected to each other. I hope you all have read the chapter from the book. Now, today in the concluding part, we will be discussing that is there access that every citizen can approach the courts, and how and why it is necessary that they approach the court. The answer is simple: to get fair justice to them. So we will be discussing few examples related with these topics. So children, while giving the introduction about judiciary, I told you about the independence of judiciary, and I also told you that everyone can approach the court whenever, wherever necessary. So in continuation with this topic, let's move further. The question arises here is, does everyone have access to the courts? So we will be discussing few examples from various parts of the country and various situations where the people have approached the court and even they can approach the court. In photo 1, in 2001, the drought in Rajasthan and Orissa meant that millions faced an acute shortage of food. In photo 2, meanwhile, the government godows were full of grain. Often this was being eaten by rats. So children, here in first you see the drought in Rajasthan and Orissa, which means that millions faced an acute shortage of food. Meanwhile, in the second photo you can see the government godowns, they were full of grains, and this was stored in such a large quantity that they were eaten by rats. In this photo, photo 3, the hunger amidst plenty, an organization called the People's Union of Civil Liberties or PUCL filed a PIL in the Supreme Court. So PIL, I have told you in the previous class, it's public interest litigation, and it stated that the fundamental right to life guaranteed in Article 21 of the Constitution included the right to food. So here you can see the hunger amongst plenty of people. But Article 21 of the Constitution stated that everyone has the right to food. The state's excuse that it did not have adequate funds was shown to be wrong because the godowns were overflowing with grains. The Supreme Court ruled that the state had a duty to provide food to all. So this is how the Supreme Court ordered the state that it is the duty of the state to provide food to all its citizens. Then here, it is therefore directed the government to provide more employment, to provide food at cheaper prices through the government ration shops, and to provide midday meals to children. It also appointed 2 food commissioners to report on the implementation of government schemes. So this is how the court acted where plenty of people were on hunger. They were not able to get the food. Then again the same question arises. Does everyone have access to the courts? For the common person, access to courts is access to justice. And the courts, they play a very important role in interpreting the fundamental rights of citizens. As you saw in the above case, the courts interpreted Article 21 of the Constitution, the right to life, to include the right to food. They therefore ordered the state to take steps to provide food for the people of its citizens under the scheme of midday meal. Then another issue that affects the common person's access to justice is the inordinately long number of years that courts take to hear a case. That is, we all know the number of years the cases are pending in the courts. The phrase justice delayed is justice denied is often used to characterize this extended time period that courts take. So, this is a speech by the Chief Justice of India. You can go through it. Then, however, in spite of this, there is no denying that the judiciary has played a very important role in democratic India, serving as a check on the powers of the executive and the legislature, as well as in protecting the fundamental rights of citizens. And the members of the Constituent Assembly had quite correctly envisioned a system of courts with an independent judiciary as a key feature of our democracy. So, we have seen that the judiciary plays a very important role. It has played and even playing, and it will keep on playing a very crucial role even in the future. As you can see here, children, the number of judges, the number of courts in India, Supreme Court 31, 28 and the vacancies 3. So, you can go through this table. So, now after reading and understanding the whole chapter, we can say that judiciary plays a very important role in the life of the citizens of the country. Without judiciary, no one can get justice in any of the disputes, in any of the matters. I hope, children, you too have understood the importance of judiciary. And you go through the chapter, try to understand in detail, and also one of the important topics, the independence of judiciary. Why it is very necessary to keep the judiciary independent from the effect of other organs of the country. So, go through the chapter, try to understand it, and read the chapter and mark all the important necessary points of this chapter, especially judiciary. That's all for today. Thank you. Have a good day.